have multiple players who can guard multiple spots. Coach Mosley has talked about her players being able to guard multiple positions and being able to play multiple positions, and that's what goes into being a very defensive-minded team.
Wisconsin controls the opening tip as we get started on a busy Saturday of Big Ten women's basketball. Happy you join us here in Piscataway for this one, for what could be a meeting again that we'll see in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. Opening shot will not go for Natalie Leitzinger, one of a few seniors on this team. Not many veterans, a pretty young Wisconsin squad. But now Rutgers controls for the first time. And here is Bates. Mentioned Petticord coming off her 25-point performance. Healthy for a decent duration for the first time this season. That big key for her. Tries a mid-range two, and there is the conference's best shot blocker, Sarah Williams. And her partner in crime, Ronnie Porter, scoops in the first two.
Well, that duo is certainly unstoppable when they're playing together. The shot block from Williams, and then Porter to just clean it up, take it to the other end of the floor. And Sarah Williams might not have been able to get positioning on offense during that first possession, but she's going to keep playing that defense.
And a moving screen against Destiny Adams, who was good in the non-conference, but has been perfect in the conference games. You take a look at the Porter layup. Adams is a huge part of what Rutgers done, especially with Kayleen Schmeichel again today, again today.
She's been looking for her spots and scoring. She's become more confident in playing in this conference, and a conference that she says is a better fit for her, and we've been seeing it already.
All right, there's Adams ripping the rebound, averaging 15 points and 7 rebounds a game as it gets knocked out of play. Rutgers with victories over teams that have been in the NCAA tournament conversation lately. At Nebraska, and then most recently, middle of the week against Minnesota. As Bates tries a three and misses. Big part of that has been getting offense from their plays, as Coquise Washington said. Looking for some easy twos, but Bates can't find the steal. And now here's Williams spinning and scoring.
Well, Cornwell was late to get back there, and Williams, when she gets positioning quickly down low like that, you see how quickly a bucket could come from it.
In the Mosley era, a week ago today, Dominique, their best win of the season against a hot shooting Penn State team.
And it was an impressive one at that, and they had to overcome a 17-point deficit to get that win. And Coach Mosley talks about how they were getting downhill. They were aggressive. And when all 5 players out there on the floor are looking for their shot and confidence, and it helps when people like Ronnie Porter can find you in transition, that's the type of style that they were playing to get that upset win over Penn State.
Yeah, big confidence boost for Wisconsin. Layup there from Brooke Schrammick, another one of the seniors, and now a turnover and a foul.
The push. They trust their point guard, Ronnie Porter, who can find them out in transition, and that was just a little taste of the court vision that she can really bring to the floor.
Now here's Porter, undersized sophomore, but having an absolute breakout year. In for Williams. She saw a double, shoots over Cassandra Brown, and rebound by Petticord, who got fouled.
And make sure that Schrammick isn't able to sneak in and get those extra possessions. Maya Petticord doing a great job crashing.
Rutgers 0 of 3 shooting so far as the freshman Lisa Thompson pulls up, misses, but there's Adams with a second chance. And a reset for the Scarlet Knights. Adams, the North Carolina transfer, coming back home, and the little hezzy wouldn't fall.
Well, they're really challenging the shot blocker in Williams. It's going to be hard to score her individually like that.
Good defense without fouling. Ronnie Porter's been banged up already today. She's fallen a few times. As the Scarlet Knights turn it over for the 3rd time today.
3 quick turnovers here. Coach Washington coaching them up because they have to slow down. You know, I know they want to get out and run, but you want it to be a good pass to be able to set up some offense. If nothing's there, now you bring it back out. Work the offense. Try to get some execution out of it.
Worth noting, these are the 2 teams in the conference with the most turnovers, each averaging close to 19 a game. Sanaya Copeland driving baseline. Porter wide open and book a 3 for the star sophomore.
Well, that was a pretty pass from Copeland, just driving baseline and then kind of faking the pass, a no look, thought she was going to go to the corner with it and find Porter, who's a terrific shooter as well.
Adams on the roll. She was open but could not connect. And the lid stays on the rim. Leitzinger to extend the run. She does. Another 3. and a 12-0 start for Wisconsin.
Well, in transition, it's just been not great. The transition defense for Rutgers, little miscommunication, not knowing who you have, 2 wide open buckets.
That jumper won't go either. 4 of the 5 Badgers have scored already, and that's huge for a team that gets a lot from Sarah Williams and is still trying to figure out the rest of the secondary scoring.
Absolutely, trying to figure out their offense, what works for them best right now, and they look confident. They look like they're gelling together, and they know what they're looking for on the offensive end.
Schrammick was open and ends up missing the contested 2. Could have easily been an extra 2 points. Herder pulls up, but long on 3. She's their sharpshooter as Brown keeps it alive. Adams back on attack, and there are the first 2 points for Rutgers, but more than 5 minutes into the game.
And Adams certainly been beastly on the offensive boards, and they finally get a bucket to go. So hopefully seeing the ball go in the basket is a positive note for them on the offensive end. They need her to do a little bit of everything out there on the floor, and she's been rebounding hard, looking for her shots, and she knows that those points are going to be hard to come by because they want to clog up the paint against her.
Got stopped on that drive, and now a touch for Brown, the super senior, and got bumped off her spot that time. A 2 into the game for Wisconsin, Hallie Douglas and Dianis Jimenez as Porter opens the back door, and another timeout for Rutgers.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Lean it back in as Bates swats it away. I've been there before. I've seen shots like that fall off the rim too.
Well, it was amazing. I mean, it actually looked like it was about to fall in. Really was praying it in there, but couldn't get it to fall. But Petticourt, the separation she can get on that 3-point shot. She was really spicy.
Jimenez inside for Williams. Ball movement, end of the shot clock here. Douglas got it off in time, and it is a shot clock violation because it didn't hit the rim.
Well, that was nice defense from Rutgers. You know, they had to front Sarah Williams, and then they go over the top. The help side comes. But Petticourt, little jab step, look away, can really free herself up for that shot. But boy, it looked like it was going to go in. It did not.
A Rutgers team that was down 12-0 a moment ago would have given them a little bit more life. Bates. Mentioned Rutgers' focus is getting it inside. And Cassandra Brown, we knew she's good, but she's having an even better run the last month as she scores her first 2.
And I love the toughness of Brown. That was a nice move right there. Just kind of got Williams in a position where she couldn't block it. Gave her a little bit of body down in the paint.
Rainbow 3 won't go for Schrammick. And Adams trying to push the tempo. Rutgers enjoys doing that as well. And Erica Lafayette stepped out of bounds. Would have been a nice opportunity for somebody in Lafayette who hit 3 threes in the win over Minnesota.
And the 3-ball has been really important in when Rutgers was able to get their 2 conference wins, knocking down 7 or more threes in both of those performances. And knocking down the outside shot is going to be so important with them because you know teams are going to pack up the paint with players like Destiny Adams.
Schrammick, physicality, but no lay in there. A couple of misses in a row now for Wisconsin, 4 to be exact. Lafayette wanted a 3, crossed up Williams, and couldn't connect. Saucy stuff from Erica Lafayette, who we don't see work herself inside the arc much.
And that was a nice move.
Porter, long. And here's Petticourt swerving through traffic, left wide open, in and out. And some almosts for a Rutgers team that could really use some buckets from distance. But Wisconsin has gone cold for 3.5 minutes now. Deliberate and a foul. That was Adams trying to contest Sarah Williams' catch.
And that's her second foul. That is key right there. Don't want her to get in foul trouble to start in this first half. She's been so important to this offense, but that time got her hand tangled up in there on Williams, and now she has to go to the bench.
Adams averaging 18 and 7 in Big Ten games. Mentioned Rutgers playing without Kayleen Schmeichel, the all Big Ten guard still, the medical issue. And so she's out, and China Cornwell draws the assignment on Williams. And wave it off, we've got another foul.
Well, if you're Cornwell, that's nice defense, but you can't bail her out by putting your hand on her. You have to know that Williams is a versatile scorer. She can knock down the mid-range. She can shoot the three. She can also take you off the dribble, take a couple dribbles to get to the rack. So you have to know that you have to give her a little bit of a space when you're in that position and not bail her out.
Brutal screen to set up Jimenez for the open two.
It's a really nice execution underneath the basket. And Wisconsin been able to get whatever they want on the offensive end.
Final possession of a first quarter that has gone decidedly in the visitors' favor. Feeding Brown again. Cut off. Cornwell, that was contested and it went down. And the first quarter comes to a close with a little spark for a Scarlet Knights team that needed a little jolt.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
Senior Leitzinger, Wisconsin's glue player, does a little bit of everything, can defend several possessions, and can also knock down some threes. But this already one of her best games of the season. And keying a Badger team that is looking for its 5th Big Ten win. Brown can step out. She's stuck, and she overshoots Adams. 6 turnovers for Rutgers, which has never really gotten comfortable on the offensive side.
Well, trying to go high-low in that position is a hard angle to make that pass, and they're trying to get Destiny Adams some touches. They've been hard to come by. We saw her in foul trouble. Now she's back in the game. So just getting in the offensive rhythm has been really tough for them to start this game.
Adams picked up 2 fouls in the first period. As Bates finds Porter, but she rediscovers the ball and scores 2.
That's a nice job from Porter, so just staying with it. Almost thought that was going to be a turnover there. Just made a second effort to clean it up.
Now, if you're talking about most improved players in the Big Ten, Ronnie Porter is in that conversation. Averaging double digits after playing 7 minutes a game last year off the bench. Bates, that's a tough shot. And there's Adams one-handing their rebound and putting it back in. Boy, they really need Adams to find some of those buckets.
Relentless on the boards. All 3 of the offensive rebounds that they've gotten from the Scarlet Knights has been because of Adams. She just goes after it tough after a missed shot.
Rutgers trying to stay connected with Wisconsin as they try to pull away early, just like they did in the first meeting. Leitzinger again in the corner, opts for the mid-range. That'll go too. Everything falling for Natalie Leitzinger.
I mean, if you're feeling it, keep shooting it, right? Mid-range shot knocked down as well, too. And she's just putting in some big buckets for this offense right now.
She's got 11 points in the first half. Herter inside and knocked away. I think it could have been a kicked ball, but Wisconsin emerges with it. Sanaya Copeland is a great defender, too.
Well, it just seems right now that Rutgers is kind of overthinking what to do against Wisconsin's defense. You know that they were going to come in here, clog up the paint. They don't want to give Adams anything easy. But it's going to have to be some guards to step up, kind of make something happen from the wing position, move the basketball around. I think that there still hasn't been enough movement on the offensive end.
Meanwhile, a Wisconsin team that ranks at the bottom of the Big Ten in a lot of offensive categories, shooting 50% and on pace for north of 70 points today. As Porter missed it, and Rutgers will get it back. I mean, in Big Ten games, Wisconsin's only averaging 58 points. But I guess the secondary scoring with players like Porter and Leitzinger, when that shows up, this is a very different Badger team.
Well, Coach Mosley has said that when we're looking for our shots, when each player out there is moving forward, moving towards the basket and being aggressive, getting downhill, that's how they were able to get the win against Penn State. And so far, our team's doing it now.
Wow, Maya Petticord one-handing the putback.
Just shows the athleticism of Petticord.
Maya Petticord is playing some inspired basketball lately. And right on cue, there she goes once again for 2 more points.
Making some big plays for Rutgers here. The putback we saw just a moment ago, and then defensively coming away with the steal. It's giving Scarlet Knights some life.
Williams double teams. When is she not? And she double dribbles. You see at the top as well, Ohio State, the number 2 team in the country. Just 1 game separating the Buckeyes from Iowa and Indiana. And Ohio State has to go to Carver Hawkeye on the final day of the regular season. So season is not over yet. The run is not over yet for the Buckeyes.
I'm excited for that game right there. I can imagine it's going to be a tight one. It's been some excellent play we've been seeing in Big Ten Conference, who just has so many talented basketball players.
And maybe Caitlin Clark will be at 5,000 points in her career by that point.
I think so. I think she will.
Oh, what a moment that was the other night on Peacock. Caitlin Clark becoming the all-time leader in points in women's college basketball history. And now in only year 4 has a chance to break the all-time record, women's or men's, held by somebody you may know named Pete Maravich.
Absolutely remarkable what she's doing for the game of women's college basketball. I mean, sold out crowds, the support, people showing her love. I mean, it has just been so much fun to watch, and she's just a bucket, man. I mean, the way she's been able to separate and make these shots just has been incredible. I can't say enough about Caitlin Clark and what she's doing to the game. It's just been fun what she's been bringing for college basketball.
Well, if it wasn't for the star out in Iowa, Sarah Williams would probably have an even bigger case to be in the Big Ten Player of the Year conversation.
I know,
with
that's
the way Wisconsin's stars played.
I know, that's really tough. I mean, being in a conference with Caitlin Clark is just, you know, you're looking like you kind of fly under the radar a little bit when you're even a top scorer in the conference like Sarah Williams. But it's just everyone loves Caitlin Clark. Everyone's rooting her on. But Sarah Williams is just making sure that Wisconsin doesn't fly under the radar. They've got some great talent on that team.
Adams dials it up. Rutgers just has not found its shot. Most of its 16 points have come from right around the rim. In fact, 12 of the 16 have been from the paint as Petticord picks it off.
Well, I think they're just overthinking the paint protection right now. They're clogging it up, but gonna have to find ways to bring up Sarah Williams, the terrific shot blocker she is, throw her off kilter.
Nobody scored in 2.5 minutes for either side. Adams, that's a long 2. It won't go, and Williams in a crowd finds the rebounds. And an outlet from Porter. What a dime that was! Perfect pass to Brooke Schrammick.
Dropped it right in there to Schrammick. And that is the court vision that we are used to seeing from Ronnie Porter.
Now, she had a career-high 9 assists the first time these two teams met. Petticord short arms it, and Porter gets another chance. Sharing to Copeland. Not there, but Porter's got the rebound.
The shortest player out there on the floor got the rebound. She's just playing so hard right now.
Turned it over. Now, even still, the sophomore Porter has had an outrageous year. She's the sort of player it seems like she's got 360 vision.
Eyes are up at all times, just seeing where exactly she wants to go with her teammates. And that's why her teammates are just running the floor. They know that she's going to get her the ball, catches them in rhythm. Don't even have to put the ball on the floor, just 2 steps laid up.
For Rutgers, the drought is 3:15. And Adams, just like that, ends it.
It's a really nice move, and we've been saying that teams are trying to push Adams off of the block. And she's got to the point where she has to put the ball on the floor sometimes to get her scores, and she's getting much better at that.
I got it along the baseline that time. And Adams 6 points, 6 rebounds. As we're inside the final minute of the opening half. One where Wisconsin's led by as much as 16. Rutgers just trying to get this back to single digits. It could do it right here. Petticord stopped, and it's an offensive foul. And she tried to shrug off Sanaya Copeland. Got caught with that elbow down too much.
And it looks like she stepped through, and I know Maya Petticord is probably thinking, everybody does it. You know, why can't I do it in that situation there? But just a little bit too extra, pushing off with the forearm there right in front of the referee. That's an easy call.
The simplest part, Kevin Pethel was right there. Tim Decanter and Iffy Seals on the whistles today. Shot clock's off. And Jimenez controls. With Bates draped all over her. Starts with under 10. Mismatch. Jimenez, tough, won't go. And a foul as Cornwell grabbed the rebound and Schrammick got caught.
Well, there's been much better half-court defense from Rutgers these last few minutes. That was a nice contest. And rebound from Cornwell.
And for a Rutgers team that struggled to score, these are a big 3.3 seconds. And for Petticord, through a double team, got it off in time and comes up just short.
Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in the action.
The positioning down low.
All spilled out and a foul. Rutgers knows what Williams can do. Of course, they watched the tape, but she had 31 in the first meeting between these two teams.
They're certainly trying to make sure that doesn't happen again, and that's what we saw in the first half, just doubling Sarah Williams. And then that's when other players have the opportunity to step up. So much attention that she brings. So players like Lightsinger having 11 in that first half, it leaves her wide open on the three-point line because you're so worried about what Williams is going to do.
Now Williams in the game 3 weeks ago had 2 threes in a game for the first time ever. Something that she added to her game as well in the offseason. Dominique was telling you earlier about how she was layups and a little mid-range last year. And this year it's a lot of everything as Adams tries to bully her way in. And now we've got a tie-up on the second chance that will send it back to the Badgers.
Well, you spoke about the free throw situation, how those were the first free throws of the entire game. That's also rare because Destiny Adams gets to the free throw line. And Coach Mosley, we talked to her about that. She said that I feel like she tries to get you to foul her. She likes you to bail her out when she's in a position where she doesn't think she can score. But credit the Badgers for doing a nice job on her, making those shots much more difficult to come by.
Again, Williams called for 3 seconds in the paint. And so we're headed the other way. Yeah, Rutgers gets a ton of its points from the free throw line. It's often a physical game when you play Rutgers. And with only 2 free throw attempts today, Rutgers shooting 24% from the floor as its offense has gone cold. Brown, good positioning that time, doesn't make a difference. Williams has another block. And here's Porter dishing to Schrammick, who scoots in 2. And Wisconsin now leads by 21 points.
And they've certainly been setting the tone and setting the pace of this game because after they get a stop defensively, they are looking to score quickly.
Brown hits Rutgers' first 3 of the day.
And I know that they're happy for that one. And their 2 conference wins, they shot 45% or more from the three-point line. Were able to knock down quite a few more than their season average. The 3 ball is important for them.
Porter can't put it in. Lightsinger almost had the rebound. Rutgers had missed 8 straight threes before that Brown made.
With one, a big one there. She had 3 last game.
We told you in the first meeting, Rutgers almost erased a 17-point fourth quarter deficit, got it to 2 possessions, and trying to get into that range as the shot goes off the glass for Brooke Schrammick. The Badgers, meanwhile, realize that they can't have a repeat of what happened in Madison a couple weeks ago.
They have to continue to keep playing with a sense of urgency. Can't get complacent with this lead because Rutgers is a resilient team. They're going to fight you all the way to the end.
Adams inside and fouls. Mentioned she loves taking trips to the charity stripe, and this will be her first.
She loves going into your chest and drawing that contact. She's so good at that. And Schrammick in a position where she couldn't really contest. They brought her arm down. Destiny Adams has certainly been fighting down there.
Adams is a 70% free throw shooter. The first one is good. Top 5 in the conference in free throw makes and attempts. She's got more than 100 of each. That goes as well. So back to a 15-point game. And Rutgers with 3 minutes and 30 seconds to try to whittle down the deficit before the fourth. Copeland shares. Williams collects and scores. And for the 11th straight game, Sarah Williams has a double-double.
Well, she continues to chip away and get hers, right? You know, if you're a team getting ready to face her, she's going to get hers on the offensive end. And it was a drop-off pass from Copeland that I thought was a little bit too low right at the knees, but Williams just stays with it and brings the team assist number up to 15.
I mean, for every post player to follow Sarah Williams, that double-double record is just going to be undoable. 10 points, 14 rebounds for her tonight.
She's a remarkable player to watch and has a high motor as well. She just continues to move. She follows her shot, continues to find her positioning down in the post. She's a hard matchup, and that's why day in, day out, it's really hard to keep her from getting that double-double every single game.
Porter will reset it. Screen from Williams. To the baseline she goes. Around the horn for Schrammick, and a three. Brilliant basketball from the Badgers.
Well, Schrammick's been looking nice on the offensive end. 11 points here today, and Coach Mosey said that we're just better when Brooke is looking to score. She wants her to score and look for her shot. That was a pretty extra pass, too, to find the wide open Schrammick. Knock it down in the 3-ball. Man, it has been falling for Wisconsin here.
First time that Schrammick has back-to-back double-digit games since December. And she's their number 3 scorer, so they lean on her for something every game. A harried possession for Rutgers, but ends up with points as Adams flips it in.
Yeah, not particularly pretty possession there, but the ball falls into the basket. They're able to get a turnover off of that as well, too. So you've seen spurts where they come alive. They look like they're gelled together on the offensive end, and then they get a stop on defense, and now they have to capitalize off of it.
Well, Adams now has double digits, 10 points, 7 rebounds. Brown steps inside on the drive and got fouled. Did you see what Coquise Washington did right there?
I did.
She's buying an extra timeout. I thought for a moment she didn't realize that Brown was the shooter.
I was thinking that too, because Sandra Brown was over there like, I need to see what she's saying real quick. That was funny. I don't think I've seen that before.
I haven't either. She did miss both free throws. I can't tell you whether there's any correlation. That was funny.
Real slick, Coach Washington, real slick.
Rutgers needs the freebies. We've told you that all game long. 3 of 6 at the line. Douglas hooking it for Porter. How'd that pass get there? And now it's a turnover. Adams out of control. This is still alive.
She's even laughing after that possession. Can't believe she kept it.
Adams gets a chance. Oh, she traveled with it. And a turnover ends that frantic possession. A couple of them in a row now.
And you kind of were holding your breath that entire possession because it looked like it was about to turn into a turnover, and even Destiny Adams had to laugh about that one.
Now Rutgers has been going through the growing pains. And now they've got a trap and a timeout. And so some points have been left out there for sure. Out of the timeout, Dianis Jimenez misses the three. Back to Adams. And Adams spins and scores. Starting to come alive in this second half, but is it too little too late for RU?
Well, she felt the body of Douglas and how she was guarding her. Was able to take advantage. Adams getting much better, putting the ball on the floor and getting to the rack.
And it's Rutgers' ball as Bates dives on top of it.
We talked about it. These are two teams that struggle with turnovers, and right now, the 14th for Wisconsin. Antonia Bates on the top of that press is certainly bothersome. 6'3", long arms, getting so many deflected passes that sometimes don't come up in the stat sheet, but leads to a turnover.
Extra possession for Rutgers with 5 seconds separating the game and shot clocks. Brown off the stutter. Rutgers again is lucky to keep the ball. Adams fakes the pass and calls her own number, plus the foul. Destiny Adams' best play of the game, but now see at the very least she was able to do some of that under her own power. As a free throw will not go. We'll keep an eye on Williams' availability. Not on the floor now with Wisconsin ball. Final 10 seconds. Porter giving up a full foot to Bates in his matchup. Shares the buzzer. Not beaten by Schramek. And we're off to the fourth.
But getting all taped up, and Williams, such a tough player. Gotta imagine she's gonna want to try to come back in this game.
Now operating with her off the floor and other players stepping up. That's been the story of the day for Wisconsin as Schramek gets the and one.
Well, she's been looking nice on the offensive end. Terrific read here by Schramek and a pretty pass from Porter, who has 6 assists here today. She's finding her teammates at a high rate, 9th in the conference in assists per game.
And the free throw goes, so Schramek has 14 points, her most in a Big Ten game this season. Petticourt forcing inside and got it back, but there was Porter slipping in to knock it free. She is everywhere for this team.
That just speaks to those pesky guards at 5'3".
Schramek, she was open. Now Ronnie Porter at 5'4" is, I think it's 16th in the Big Ten in rebounds, which may not sound like a lot, but she's probably a foot shorter than some of the people who are above her.
It definitely sounds like a lot to me at 5'4", standing myself.
That's 6 rebounds a game.
Yeah. She's sneaky, being able to follow the basketball. She has a high IQ as well, too. Just can read it coming off the rim.
And jump ball stays with Rutgers. Sprint back onto the floor. That's a great sign.
Such a tough player. And for her to get back out there, wow.
Lafayette dribbled inside and hit the side of the backboard.
Being able to run on that ankle, looking good as well, too. She doesn't say much. We saw her grimace just a little bit there, but pretty even-keeled player. Doesn't really complain about much or anything, but just getting back out there for her team.
Leitzinger drives. Williams looks like she's all right. And she'll get her first 2 free throws.
Pretty pass there as Williams tried to get position on the block, then just followed Leitzinger, who was able to find her, thread the needle in the lane. They got 28 points in the paint right now and just been living in the paint against Rutgers.
I won't go for Williams. On the season, an 80% free throw shooter. Told you she's had an even better sophomore year after being an all-freshman Big Tenner last year. Her head coach says she's got a determination to be dominant. That's certainly been the case this year. And in this game even, after a quiet first half. Adams has the advantage, shrugs off one defender, and she's going to the line. Sanaya Copeland did everything she could to stop Adams.
Well, Adams turned and faced and saw that there was no one home, so then put it on the floor to score the bucket. Kind of created some separation on Copeland there. Copeland had to recover, came back and fouled her.
And if Rutgers has any chance of working its way back in again, it's going to need to hit its free throws. And it's another split pair. Adams with 15 points, 8 rebounds today. As Porter overshoots Copeland, and a rare turnover by Ronnie Porter.
Will make or miss on the free throws. Antonia Bates stays up and pressures the ball, and Herder was able to step over and make that pass a lot harder for the 5'3" Ronnie Porter, who throws it away.
Herder takes the three, can't make it, but now Bates on the weak side. And back into automatic offense. And Adams almost turned it over. You can see Rutgers trying to get Lafayette set up for those threes like she had Wednesday against Minnesota.
Well, they've been looking for it, but the spacing was a little bit off in that possession there.
Quick in, and Adams right back to the strike.
Well, Adams is starting to recognize the openings against the defense and being able to show herself. Credit her teammates for finding her, but she's getting a lot more work, and we saw her in foul trouble in that first half. Kind of threw her off. Wasn't able to get as many touches here, but just showing signs of life on the offensive end with 15 points.
I was just going to say, I wonder how much sitting for a good chunk of the first quarter slowed Adams' ability to get into this game.
It absolutely throws you off your game. You're trying to work yourself up. You know, sometimes you get cold over there on the bench, and it's hard to get back and fill out the pace of the game in which your teammates are playing. But, you know, that's on everybody. It's on her for getting back into the game, and also your teammates for getting you some touches.
Again, 1 out of 2 for Adams. Oh, and a foul as Leitzinger hits the deck. And it's on Bates, who picks up her 4th. That's notable, also the 3rd against the team. Bates is sort of the linchpin of this press.
Absolutely, she plays the top, and we've seen her being able to get her hand on a lot of balls in the backcourt.
Porter floats it, but won't go. And Rutgers wants to hurry, knows the time and score. Herder, nobody in her area code, but it won't go. And that's sort of day for Rutgers three-point shooters, 2 of 12 as a team. And on the other side, Williams goes right at Herder.
Well, the last time she went to the free throw line, she struggled, and it was in question that maybe the ankle was bothering her. She's an 80% free throw shooter, but she knocks these 2 down.
Looked a lot better. And Williams now with 12 points to pair with 16 rebounds. Cornwell trying to distribute. Lafayette somehow saved that, though I don't know if she had to. An offensive foul. Adams got tangled up, and Hallie Douglas not afraid to step in for a charge.
Well, they have been trying to step in and draw that charge every possession. Adams likes to swing her arms just a little bit here. She lowers her shoulder just a bit, but it seems that she didn't fully commit to doing that. Like, she stepped back. The ball was also tied up, so the referee called the foul first before the jump ball. Coach Washington did not like that call.
And Bates goes to the bench. Or pardon me, Adams goes to the bench to join Antonia Bates. 4 fouls for each of them, and that's Rutgers' 2 rangiest players. As Porter hooks it, and will go to the line. It's tough to press for Rutgers with Bates and Adams not in the picture.
Definitely is a different looking lineup, something they've been playing through all season long. You see Antonia Bates checking right back in because they need her pressure defensively to turn over Wisconsin, who at times has struggled against the press.
Ronnie Porter, a 70% free throw shooter. Now, what a year it's been for the first-year starter, product of St. Paul, Minnesota. She averaged less than 7 minutes a game last year, backing up a couple fifth years in Avery LaBarbera and Julie Poshpishalova. This year, she's second in the conference in minutes, 35 minutes a game, Dominique.
Stays out there on the floor, doesn't foul, gets in after the rebounding. She does everything top to bottom, and she's your floor general, just controlling this offense, finding her teammates. She's so gifted at that. She just makes herself available.
And out of bounds. Porter was on the line, so Rutgers keeps it. It is clear that while the present is record-breaking for the Big Ten, the future is pretty darn good too, with the likes of Williams and Porter in this conference. Just sophomores.
Well, they're just fun players to watch. That duo connection that's been getting it done all season long. Just learning how to play together. Williams, who got a lot of minutes last year, and Porter said that she learned a lot just sitting on the bench, watching Williams get to her spots, learning her teammates before she played extended minutes this year.
Move looked good. That wouldn't fall for Sarah Williams. Rutgers, meanwhile, has not made a field goal in the fourth quarter. Lafayette changes it with a three.
It's her second three-pointer of the game, and she recognized that Williams couldn't get out to her as quickly as she normally would and capitalized off of that. And that was a big bucket right there. They needed some offense to get going.
Yeah, 6 points for Lafayette. And back through Williams. And foul before the drive. That'll be on Cornwell.
I mentioned this in the first half, but again, you know, if you're Cornwell guarding her, you got to know that Williams can put the ball on the floor. You got to give her a little bit of a step and realize what you're going to give up in that situation with a player who can knock down the mid-range as well. You just have to get your hands in your face. Make it very difficult for her to score the basketball because she's going to have that patience to find the best shot.
It's been a gritty game for Sarah Williams. Not involved as much as she wanted to be in the first half offensively. But breaking out in the second half, where she scored 12 of her 14 points. And oh, by the way, a new career high in rebounds with 17 of them, like a vacuum today in the paint.
You know, she didn't get the offensive performance that she wanted in the first half, but she made the adjustments in the second half. Realized that they're sending two defenders at her. How can I score quickly, make those decisions quickly? And she just adjusted. She keeps doing the little things.
It's fun to work with our students because, yes, they're enrolled in classes, but they're future sports media professionals, too. We've seen so many of our students move on to big media organizations in New York, Philly, and across the country. Just had somebody work on the CBS broadcast of the Super Bowl a couple weeks ago. So fun to see. They've done a great job bringing you this broadcast here from Jersey Mike's Arena in New Jersey, where Wisconsin is 4 and change away from eclipsing its largest win total under Marissa Mosley. Ronnie Porter has been a part of that today. 11 points, 7 assists, and 6 rebounds, and another steal.
She's been sensational, just doing what a point guard role is. Controlling this team, making big defensive plays, and finding her teammates with 7 assists in this game.
Wisconsin with a win would go to 12 and 12 overall, so it would be at 500 this late in the season. Very notable for them after some tough years in Madison. Oh, it's Sarah Williams with an and one. Wisconsin found itself in the same spot as it was a couple weeks ago against the same team, and it made sure that the result in the fourth quarter where things got out of hand and could have very well turned all the way on the Badgers, didn't let that happen again.
Well, Coach Mosley said that it was a problem with matchups. They played small ball against them. They were pushing the pace, and they got a little off-kiltered on the defensive end. But Wisconsin has made sure not to do that today, just continuing to execute the game plan through and through.
Petticourt splashes in 3. 9 points for the guard today, coming off that career high against Minnesota. Rutgers overall, shooters have just never found a rhythm today. And for Petticourt, that's her first 3 after 4 misses.
It's been a tough night shooting the 3 here. 4 of 14 for Rutgers, but Petticourt loves that jab step. Get that separation to pull up on the 3-point shot. But I said it, you know, the 2 conference wins that they were able to get, they shot well from the 3-point line, and teams are starting to adjust. Teams are starting to look away. You don't want to let them get hot because they're a streaky team.
Now Wisconsin was a team that was hot early, led 12-0 in the early portion of this game. As Porter keeps it alive. Jimenez. Oh, she got it back and puts it in. 9 offensive rebounds for one of the better rebounding teams in the Big Ten, which is +7 on the glass.
And Cassandra Brown was fighting down low, just popped it right in the hands of a Wisconsin player to put it back. Just a really tough break.
And Bates airmails Brown. Now for Wisconsin, they've got 4 games left. The next 3 of them are going to be on the Big Ten Network, starting Tuesday at a Minnesota team that is playing for its NCAA tournament lives. Purdue and Maryland to follow. But chance for Wisconsin to really get on a run these last 2 weeks before we head to the Big Ten tournament.
It's all about how you finish out the season. I tell you, conference play can be a little bit up and down, but as you prepare for the tournament, just putting it all together, and they certainly did that this game.
They'll host Purdue, go to Maryland, and then wrap up the final day of the regular season against a Michigan State team that's also, as of now, on the inside for the NCAA tournament, but everything can change. Still a couple weeks to go in the season. Adams, she's been the bright spot for Rutgers, and that continues. 18 points and 9 rebounds.
She's being consistent for them on the scoring front as well, and I credit Adams. She plays a lot of minutes now, gets into her groove, continues to go at you. She's a tough player, and you get her in an ISO situation, she's going to try to take advantage.
Rutgers after this has 2 on the road at Maryland and Michigan State. There's some challenging road trips. And then they've got a week off before the final game against Northwestern here at home on Big Ten Plus with us. The final minute now of this ball game. As Adams is stuffed, that was Schrammick. 7 blocks for Wisconsin. Dominique, I keep looking at the stats. Every single one of them is a good one for Wisconsin.
No, they've been able to put together a great win here today, and they're number 2 in the conference at blocking shots, and a big part of that is Williams, of course, #1 shot blocker in the conference. But even when she's off the floor, Brooke Schrammick being able to make plays like that, just honing in on their defensive effort is why they've been able to trend in the right direction right now.
Oh, and 2 seconds to shoot. Brown fouls Jimenez. But Wisconsin will move to 12-12 overall. They'll be 5-9 in Big Ten play, and that is notable because we told you Wisconsin and Rutgers could play each other in the first round of the Big Ten tournament, but the Badgers also have a decent chance of getting that first round bye as well. And so a win here will take them one large step closer. As you take a look again at the standings, tied with 4 wins with Minnesota and Purdue, both of whom play today and could keep pace or could fall off.
You just never know how things are going to go in conference play, but if you're Wisconsin, you're in grind out mode. You need to steal as many games as you can here as we finish out the regular season going into the tournament here, and they're starting to look sharp on the offensive end, and they just have to continue to carry that.
And a foul on the floor. I mentioned early, Marissa Mosley told us if we get some different scorers and we defend, we're a good team. 4 players in double figures for the Badgers, 43 points allowed, holding Rutgers to 33% shooting. I'd say that's mission accomplished.
And 20 points off of turnovers as well, too. So when they were able to turn Rutgers over, they were able to get out and run, push the pace on the fast break, 15 fast break points, put the ball in the hands of Ronnie Porter, and she's just finding her teammates in transition. They definitely took advantage here today.
Things are looking up in Madison, and they've got their latest Big Ten win, their 5th, 4 in double digits. Sarah Williams, 17 points, a career high, 18 rebounds. I don't want to play this Wisconsin team in the Big Ten tournament.